Hey guys, it's Farmer Brad here. I'm not feeling so well, so that's why I'm not at church, but the farm chores still have to be done. So I'm gonna bring you along for as much of it as I can. And I figure since I'm out here, might as well take a look at the chicken tractor greenhouse. I haven't really looked at it in a while. So I don't know if anything is actually viable. To get some of this ice off. Actually, right here's a little hole that might be able to peek into. There's a little bit of green. Let's go ahead and open this up. Oh, that's heavy. Well, that's much better. Just got this piece of ice to take off. Looks like there's some ice on the other side I need to take off. Good morning, Lisa Hopkins, Farmall Fanatic. Good morning. I'm just going to be bringing you guys along for my morning chores, but I wanted to check out this chicken tractor greenhouse that I built. Well, I'm basically using one of my chicken tractors in the off season, trying to see if it will grow some stuff. Now I'm in East Central Indiana, and go ahead and put this up here. Okay, that should give you. Okay. That should be light enough now. I should be able to lift this side up. Oh. Plastic. It's weighted down by the snow. Okay, well, Here's where the lettuce was coming up. Now all of this tall stuff here is probably some of the oats that I had planted as a cover crop in this area, and it just never went up. So I would say it's not looking too good. I mean, technically there is some green stuff, but I would think that that purple is not a good sign for vitality. I don't know, what are your guys' thoughts? Do you think this has a chance? Because my temperature sensor has been saying that it's been getting below freezing in here at times. But my other thought is, well, maybe the plants are small enough that they're not far enough away from the ground to be as affected by the cold. Hello, Major Victory. I'm just taking you all along on my morning chores. Figure I'd take a look at my chicken tractor greenhouse and see how it's going. So I'm gonna put this back here and pile some of that snow back on there. Feel free to add any questions in the chat. I'll try to see them. I'm thinking first we should probably take a look at the guinea fowl, because last night when I was trying to feed and water them, one got out, and I didn't want that one to be alone against nature, so I left the door open. So my thought was there's safety in numbers. So we'll see how that went. I'm gonna get some feed for them, and I'll be right back. So now I'm going to get the water bucket, haul some water out to the guinea fowl. Now, as you probably have already guessed, my mobile live streaming is now working all of a sudden. So, not quite sure why that didn't work before, but now it's working. So, figure I might as well utilize it. Let's see. bucket. For those that are in the live stream right now, do you have any questions for me as I make my way over to the guinea fowl? I'll flip the camera so that you can get an idea of how far away from the main area they are. And here's the lower pond. The upper pond, spring feds, feeds this lower pond. That water always seems to be flowing. We've had snow for probably about a week now, but this is the first like really good snowfall that we've had where it's stuck around. And if you look over to the right, that's where the high tunnel is. I'm not growing anything in there this winter, partly because I don't have a frost-free hydrant in there. I do have a couple shelves in my basement with some grow lights. And I did try to grow some garlic. What? Tiger, get off the ice. Tiger is our barn cat. Not sure why Tiger's on the ice. Crazy cat. But yeah, just for folks at home, all of this is happening live, unscripted. So who needs reality TV when you can just have someone live stream their morning chores? So the goal with the guinea fowl is I want them to get used to back in this part of my property so they don't roam off and that they eat the ticks in the area. So I try to tuck them back here so they'll get used to this area and this area will be home to them. But let's see if all of them are back in the thanks. There's another view of the high tunnel over there. And over there is where I'd eventually like to put like a small shed to guest cabin or something. I think that'd be really nice. Would just be and I'll come straight down to the pond. And then let me point to it. And then over there is an original outhouse that blew over, and I'd eventually like to rebuild that to its original function, and because it'd be convenient to have one out here. And here's the guinea fowl. I got 12 of them. So let's count them. We got 4 of each breed. So we got 4 white ones, 4 dark polka dotted ones, and 4. We got 3 light ones. Wait a second. Okay, we got 2 that are outside right now, injured by any predators. And this is just a John Siskovich chicken tractor that I'm using for the guinea fowl. and keep the water agitated. Thanks for the sub, Major Victory. Oh, never mind. You're telling TNS, Doug, that you subbed to theirs. That's good. Definitely got to support the homesteading community. But yeah, so I think the issue has been, let me take this off. Might be able to hear it, but that is the pump running off of solar. Now the issue that I've had is when it gets really cold, that water in the bucket freezes and it's not going to be able to keep it going. So the other option I have is I'm going to try to put together a cooler system that will help the water keep on circulating, but you definitely have to be in an area of high sun. And then to keep the draft down, I ended up putting some plastic over top of this on one side, and then there's a little vent hole up here, and then the other side is completely open. But the tarp goes down basically to the ground. And I think I'm just gonna keep it like this and just have them get used to all of this back here. I'm gonna explore over here, show you where I think the feeds into our pond, and like you guys' feedback on that. I try to keep some paths down, but it's a little tricky with my small Kubota, and my PTO is not a free PTO, so I can only mow at the like it spins the blade at the speed. So it looks like this is starting to fill in a little bit with some more vegetation and stuff, but let's see. Somewhere over here there is a pipe. Oh, here it is. There's this pipe here. This seems to be where the water's coming from. And I don't know if it's just runoff from this creek that's on the other side of the hill. I don't know. But there looks like kind of like a washway where there's at least water coming this direction. And then over here they have some stones. Well, I keep on saying I mean, this is our property, but the previous owners, or the original owners, probably built this up. It's overgrown. It's actually not too cold. Feels good. It's nice and crisp. I'm gonna bring you over to the outhouse. I don't think I make it back here on many of my YouTube videos. So over here, there's with like a foundation, concrete, keep the similar architectural so here's the high tunnel. It's doing a lot better since I tightened up the plastic, that's for sure. Still a work in progress. I feel like farm work is always a work in progress. It's never quite done. But so I'm thinking these three trees right there, I eventually need to cut down so they don't block the sun when I put solar back up. So there's this dirt, but I'm actually thinking about leveling out and putting a water tank on top of it to be able to gravity feed water out to the pasture for the chickens. And then I'll put a gutter system on this side at least and have it fill up that water tank. And then I'll probably mount like right there the solar panels. I have 3 solar panels, and I feel like those 3 trees there could block it. Now those trees I'll put to good use. I will make an outdoor raised garden bed out of them. Any questions for me? Well, I have good light to see the cell phone screen. Now I'm gonna be, here's Marshall coming. Hey Marshall! He's keeping a good eye on the sheep. He's a Great Pyrenees. And there's the sheep. There's one ram that I have to keep an eye on him. For a momentary time I had to put him in this extra stall that I made, but I'm not sure if you can see it, but like right here the fencing is actually bent. The rams must have rammed at it pretty good. Anyone in the chat room, if what animals do you have, if you have any? Do you guys have chickens or sheep or? So I got this big round bale from my Amish neighbor because he borrowed water from my well. There's tobacco field. I don't have a big enough tractor in order to move this around. And so I actually pushed it into this part of the barn with my 0-turn radius mower, and got it here. So I basically just been scraping bits out and then take them over to a trough where the sheep are. I saw a question in there. Let me see if I can bring it back up. Okay, so so Major Victory asked me if there's any insulation around your water storage. I don't have the water storage out there yet. I have a big 550-gallon tank that's empty near my front garden that I plan to put out there. I don't plan on using it during the winter time, because this next spring I hope to, in exchange for drone photography, get a 2-day rental of a trencher and try to trench probably about 500 feet from the barn out to the high tunnel so I could get a frost-free hydrant in there. Let's see if there were some other questions. So TNS Dogs the Dragonfly Farms, they said that they have chickens, dogs, cats, and a parrot. Major Victory says doesn't have a homestead, but I hope to have one in the future. And then TNS, they had guinea fowl or guinea hens, but they do keep them in the neighbor's field. Yeah, we have well water in our house, and then it goes from our house to the barn. In one of my more recent projects, I ended up bypassing the water softener so that the water that comes out to the barn is not softened, because I didn't want to have to pay for that salt. So that should help. But if it all goes well, I should be able to have the ram pump most of the water from the pond. The frost-free hydrant is basically just be a backup so that I don't do all this work of growing stuff in the high tunnel and then it just all dies. We're not really going to anywhere for the holidays. We're staying local, which is nice. That we don't have to do any real traveling. As a result, I'm going to be helping a friend with his farm, doing the chores. So that should be interesting. I've never had to look after 22 head of cattle before, or some horses, but I'm eager to learn. I'm looking forward to gaining some more experience. Okay, let's see. So then this is where the sheep are. Take this hay over. put in there, and then shove it down. Now we got the chickens to feed. Let's see. And the sun's coming out. Oh, so actually the sheep that I got, I don't use for wool because they're Katahdin sheep. Katahdin sheep are a hair sheep, and so they don't shed. And I actually got that for a good purpose. I did have some baby doll sheep or South Down, and I just really struggled with the shedding. I mean the shearing of the sheep. So, I mean, I'm mainly using the sheep for keeping the grass cut, and then eventually, if I have too many rams, then I'll get them processed and sell the meat at the farmer's market. Now, one part of my chicken setup is not automated with the watering, but that's just partly because I haven't gotten around to connecting it to the other side. But one side of my chickens are completely taken care of for the winter time, basically the entire winter. Let me just give you a quick overlook. Now, if you see some of the farm mess, I think every farmer knows that there's always some picking up you need to do. But let me show you, and as simply as possible. Let's see. Okay, so here is an IBC tote that I have full of water. And if you heard my podcast the other day about 2 is 1, 1 is none, this is the old pump that wouldn't spin. So I was able to swap it out by having a backup on hand. And you want to make sure it's the same model, because all I had to do was just swap out this part instead of having to reconnect everything. So basically what's happening here is there's a heated element down inside of there. Yeah, there's the heated element down inside of there. And then there is a water pump that pumps about 1,000 gallons of water per hour. It takes that water up there and into the PVC. Then it goes down, and the chickens are able to get a drink from it with the water nipples, and then it comes back up, and the water is always circulating and always warm. Now down there is a little clean out. That way, if the pump goes out and I need to drain the system, I can, and those PVC pipes will be fine. Now, word of caution, a 1500 watt heated element on anything else can cause some problems. So I actually had to wire this, which was a completely separate breaker. I mean, it's on its own breaker to handle it. So you definitely want to be mindful of that. So these are old corn cribs in my barn. It's one really long corn crib, and then I just converted it into 2 chicken coops. Or let's see. I'll put you guys on top of the blue barrel. So this side, I still need to connect back into that other side. So in the meantime, I have a heated element down in this 5-gallon bucket, and have to manually refill it. Let me get the water. And I just have a funnel that helps guide it in. Refill it. So this side has my adolescent birds and some of my tamer hens. Because you really kind of need to isolate your birds based off of size and seniority. And sometimes if they can't figure it out, they'll get in fights and you'll have some issues. Now, one thing I did was I put a little block of wood underneath the drinker so that birds of various sizes could get to the drippers, the water nipples easier. And then I have this little nest box here, and oh, the chickens are all fascinated. They're like, what is this camera doing in here? Now the other side has my older birds, my more mature birds, and then I have just a large, I have a large container that holds the food for them. These barn doors here have been problematic. I really need to replace them. But one issue that I was having was the sheep would sneak in here and stuff. So I built this little barrier and then put the straw bales there. And here they are. But I'm about done with my chores. Oh, let me show you how I have this set up in here. So this is the barn stalls. Hey Marshall. So what I've reconfigured it so that Marshall gets this first stall here. So I can easily come in this door and refill his feed with this little feeder. And then he actually just goes through there. And it works like a jump gate. Now if I need to get to the sheep, I can open up this and get to them. Let me switch the angle. Or then there's that door that I can get to them. And let's see. This is Bruce. That one, that ram right there is Gandalf. Gandalf is the one that you never want to leave your back to him. And then that little one I call Penelope. And then the other one is Dolly. Dolly and Bruce are kind of like ongoing animal sheep names and stuff. So But yeah, so then that gate I can close off if I need to, because Dolly is expecting, I have a feeling that she's gonna have 2 lambs. So then I can just block that off, feed her, give her her time here. And then that's that other room that has access out to the pasture and the fenced in area. So that gives you a look, and it's always about learning. It's always about learning, trying new things, and but yeah, I'm really blessed. This barn is pretty awesome, and it qualifies for the heritage tax credit, which is nice. Parts of it is from 1920s. I think the majority of it is from the 1940s. Looks like Bruce wanted to say hi. Hey, Bruce. Oh, he's going back out there. Man, my rams are fat. I need to get some baking soda. I've heard is good. So here I have the salt lick, and then I need to put a thing of baking soda. Marshall, don't try to escape. So I hope you enjoyed this tour, this expanded tour, farm tour, while I was doing the chores. And make sure to like this video. I know we have 5 likes, and we got 5 people in, so that's good. It is bright. So make sure to like and subscribe to my channel. And I also, as you spend the holidays with family and friends, make sure to check out the realistic Yule log video. It's about 1 hour and 48 minutes, and it really includes things that most other Yule logs skip out, like the chopping of the wood, the building of the fire, the rebuilding of the fire when it goes out, and continually adding wood to the fire. So it has some nice holiday music in the background while the wood stove is burning. So make sure to check that out, and hope you guys are feeling better than I am. I've just had this stomach bug. It's been hitting for like the last 3 days. It's not been good. Let's see. Here we got Gidget the Incredible. Gidget the Incredible is our 3-legged dog. I hope to get her story out on my channel in the near future. It's pretty remarkable. We're gonna go inside, and you guys have a wonderful rest of your Sunday afternoon.